When we think of leadership, not in a positional way and not as a role within an organization structure, but as a function, we can start to see leadership in places that we might not expect it. This video is an example of a faculty member who leads a very successful program. She has a arrangement with the institution that she remains a full-time faculty member, even though this would appear to be an administrative or leadership function. The subject, who I will refer to as VS, is a faculty member at a small community college in New York State. So she is a teacher. She developed and leads the distance learning program. In fact, she and I worked together, and I think it was about 15 years ago that we developed the program together, and she now has been leading the program on her own for 10 years or so. So she is a leader. She provides instructional design support to faculty who are developing courses or redeveloping courses. So, in an odd sense, she is doing two roles. Program leadership is a very different set of tasks than working in a technical manner with faculty on instructional design. And at the same time, she has release time for all of those roles. She teaches, she's part of the institution's committee structure, participates in budget development, and so forth. So she is a full-time faculty member. Her environment is such that there's not a strong culture around teaching and learning. She said when I spoke with her, we don't talk about teaching around here. That might seem a little surprising, but in a higher education culture where faculty have academic freedom, and the administration has no ownership of the curriculum, it is very often the case that there isn't a lot of conversation about teaching and learning. She observed in our conversation that those roles, instructional design and distance learning program leadership, don't give her any authority to change how someone teaches. The best she can do is educate, demonstrate, convince, follow through. One of the things that she has that makes her very effective in her environment is her credibility as an instructor, because she has been teaching in the classroom and online for years, is very good at what she does, and is respected for that work. So there's not a strong culture around teaching and learning. There's no authority in her specific role. But she does have credibility, and yet the program is strong. They offer for a small community college, they offer 3 complete 2-year degrees that are delivered completely asynchronously. Sorry for the typo there in degrees. How does she do it? I would say that her leadership practice is built around these key relationships. She has a group of fellow distance learning leaders from around the state who meet regularly to discuss best practices in distance learning programs. She works with individual faculty members developing courses. That is also a relationship building activity, so that while she might not ever have any interaction with that faculty member otherwise, she does have this interaction, and it's an opportunity for her to build relationships. At this institution, the vice president of instruction really is hands-off when it comes to curriculum. She's really more focused on administrative matters. So the way that our subject interacts with her is really through lobbying, educating her about the program, defending decisions at times, and problem solving together. And a key relationship is with her own students, because she learns from her students. She learns what works, she learns what they like, and she learns how things are changing. So these are the key relationships that she has that make her effective. One thing that's not on that previous slide, though, is this fact of a lack of conversation about teaching and learning. I would call that context for the leadership. And so, what the subject does, given that lack of conversation, is she creates liaisons, she creates champions, she's strategic about relationship building, she builds coalitions, and she casts a wide net. She works with faculty and administrators at other institutions to understand how they are approaching things. But really, it's her passion for this that creates the context in which her instructional leadership can happen. So she does not describe herself as a leader, but I think that she comes very close to Robert Greenleaf's servant leadership model, in which she's really building capacity. She sort of quietly and behind the scenes uh, creates and maintains the vision and the direction for the program. It's a lot of other people who are doing the work, um, but they do look to her as a leader. She educates faculty and the administration about online teaching and learning, and the fact is that that is still a highly dynamic area. It's not something that was established 15 years ago and has not changed. The way it happens, who is involved, the reasons that it happens are all constantly on the move. So there is a need for constant education. She is an advocate. Again, she is passionate about this, and advocacy is a part of how she appears to others to be a leader, although I believe that she's doing the advocacy because of her own passion. She has technical skill and ability, and so she is respected when she speaks about the topic. She has her own sense of direction of how all this is going and where it needs to go. Where the institution might not necessarily have that, she does. And she is an excellent teacher. So this has been an example of finding leadership that is not formal, it's not position-based, um, it's not necessarily a specific role within the institution. She's a faculty member who has release time, yet she is leading instruction, and she's doing it from the middle. Thank you very much.